Good evening and welcome to another live stream, live here in stunning Abruzzo. It's on my it's a home in Italy. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's keeping well. I've been a little bit stressed out today, but there you go. That's probably why I'm a little bit sort of. Can you tell? I'm a little bit tetchy. So let me know how you guys are doing in the world. Start writing in the chat box. So I realize I'm not just sat here talking to myself, and I'm going to be back with you in 1 second. I want you to just hold on 1 second because there's something I forgot to do, and it's going to start making noises very soon. So I know this is very unprofessional, but it's live. Give me 2 seconds. Well, it was a little bit longer than 2 seconds. I do apologize, but it was going to start making some strange noises if I didn't sort it out. So there you go, all sorted. Hope everybody's well. Start writing in the chat box. Let me know where you are in the world, what you're up to, and whatever else you feel like doing. So tonight is up close and personal. Are you ready for this? What are you thinking it may be about? I've got lots of photographs to show you. I can share that bit with you. But anyway, other than that, you're going to have to wait and see. Now, it's nothing exciting, nothing that's going to get anybody of any sort of... Anyway, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Tony, the producer's here. Tony, the Kazakh. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, my boy. How are you?
All good, all good. The hat's still on, I see.
Yes, it comes out every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday is the run out for the hat. I'm feeling a little bit stressed today. Can you tell? Am I stuck?
Yeah, I got that vibe when I first logged on.
Yeah. Well, considering you were late logging on because you got one of those computers that's named after a fruit that I absolutely hate.
It went a bit berserk.
There you go.
Which is fairly normal for me.
Anyway, we're going to see you in a short while for Tony, Domenico and Tony's tongue twisting trials.
Don't try to yak too much, will you?
I'll try not to. Anyway, that's what we've got this evening. Let's have a look. We've got what have we got this evening? How do I do this? We've got, as I've just said, we've got Domenico and Tony's tongue twisting trials. It is a little bit of a rude one today, so I'll apologize in advance, but I just really hope that Domenico nails the English version of what he's going to do, because it's going to be epic if he does. Hopefully that's going to be good. We've also got, what else have we got? We've got stunning photo of the week. And I reckon that this week's stunning photo is the most stunning of all photos ever taken. That's what I'm going to say. That's how excited I am to show you this one. It's just an incredible photo. So that's going to be coming up shortly. What else are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about the tours. The tours are happening very, very soon. We've got the March tour coming up. If I could just take over for a second, Tony. Here we go. You see, he's still putting... There we go. You see, 2026 tour dates, 26th and 27th of March. That's in 2 weeks' time. I can't believe that it's already come round. Everybody should have got their emails last week. Everybody's responded apart from one couple. I'm going to send them another email. So if you are watching and you've booked on the tour and you've not received an email from me, have a look through your spam and all the rest of it, because I'm going to start setting up the WhatsApp group on Friday, setting that up. So anybody watching it that's waiting for the WhatsApp group to start because they've seen my email, that's going to happen on Friday, and everybody can start interacting with each other. Sorry about that. That's my telephone beeping. So that's going to be set up on Friday. The next tour after that is the 23rd and 24th of April. Then we have the 28th and 29th of May. They're all available to book now. If you go onto the website, homeinitaly.com, and then click on tours. And then obviously we do have the autumn tour dates as well. There's plenty of seats left on these. September 24th and 25th, October 22nd and 23rd. We may do another one in October. We've not decided. We'll have to see how things go. I know some people are concerned a little bit about traveling and things like that at the moment, which I can understand. What a mad world we live in at the moment. But obviously, everything is fine. Touch wood so far at this side. Just hopefully things will get sorted out. And what can we say? I'm not going to get political, but let's hope it all gets sorted out really quick. So as I said, that's the tours. Remember, for those of you who don't know what the tours are, then they're groups of people, groups of very strange people, no, very nice people, should I say, that all get together with us. We take you around on a bus for a couple of days. We see some of the areas. We see some different properties. We eat some amazing food together. The last few tours that we've done, we've managed to see around about 20 properties, sometimes even more, in about 10 locations on 2 days. So that's the kind of thing you're in for. Really, really great way to see the area and get to know as well what the property market's like. Maybe you're not quite sure the type of property you want. Maybe you're not quite sure the kind of area that you want to be in, and this should help you out. So if you are interested, go onto the website, book your spaces, and there you go. While you're there as well, have a look at Patreon. As I've mentioned many times before, Patreon, you get early access to all our Saturday videos and now Wednesday videos, and lots of other things. We've got access to a forum and all the rest of it. If you go onto Patreon, read all about that. Hopefully some of you are going to find that really useful. We've put so many Patreons into properties, and we've still got a lot of Patreons to go through to get them into properties, but there's so many people that have bought from exclusive content as well that never even made it to the channel. So it is great to have a look at that. And the other thing I was going to say, yes, about Wednesdays, I don't know if you noticed, but we have put a video on today as well. We are hoping to do videos on a Saturday and on a Wednesday. That's the idea. What we're going to do. The Wednesday ones, there will be some properties for sale, but the idea is we're also going to do rental properties as well, especially for people that's looking to do their elective residency visa. Maybe don't want to buy a property just yet, but they want to rent so they can get the contract registered and the rest of it. We're here to help you with getting your contract registered and the rest, to set you up so you can then use that as part of your package to put forward to get your elective residency visa. So we're going to help people with that. And the actual contact about the rental properties, we're going to put you in direct contact with the owners of the properties, and you deal with them direct, sort out the price, sort out the availability and all the rest of it. So that started from today. The first rental property has gone on YouTube already, so have a look at that. It's a fantastic place in Guadiagrel, and Guadiagrel is a brilliant town to base yourself for a year. There's public transport, there's a good bus service there, there's everything you could need. There's even a hospital, there's shops, there's bars, there's restaurants, there's markets, there's a number of things. So it is a fantastic town. And if you, like I say, if you go into the channel, if you haven't already seen it, go into the channel and click on the video, and click that little alarm bell as well while you're there, because then it'll let you know every time we do some properties. We're still doing the Saturday ones. There's a great one on Saturday. It's gone on Patreon today. Fara San Martino with a secret garden with an amazing view. 39,900 euros, including all the purchase fees and taxes. Amazing. Absolutely incredible. So that's going on Saturday at 3 p.m. So remember to look out for that. Click the alarm bell so it then gets you ready for next week as well. Juan is saying, do you have tours of coastal properties? We don't, to be honest with you. We do go to the coast generally sort of spring, summertime. We tend to, the vast majority of people are not looking for coastal properties. They're looking for places inland. So we do sort of go with the majority, if you like. A lot of the properties that we see, some are 25 minutes, 30 minutes from the coast. Some are 40, 45 minutes from the coast. But we do head down to the coast on some of the tours and show you that way on. But the properties that we view are all around the Sulmona, Popoli, Raiano areas, that side of the mountain. And then our side of the mountain, Palombaro, Fara San Martino, Lama di Peligna, and places like that. So that's where we like to cover. Okay, so what we're going to do, we've got Tony and Domenico's tongue twisting trials coming up. We'll do that shortly. First of all, we're going to do, is the Sant'Usania del Sangro property still for sale? Unfortunately, it's not. That's already gone. That's been snapped up. The way to find out, and I'm glad you brought this up, the way to find out, if you go onto YouTube, you'll see two different playlists on YouTube, and one of them is available properties and one is sold properties. If you go in, obviously, to available properties, you can see all the ones in there that are still available. Obviously, sometimes if one sells, I don't know, yesterday or today, we may need to update it. It can take a few days to update it, but it is usually pretty well updated to show the correct information. We are going to go back to having the website listings as well. We went off that idea purely because we're not agents. We do things in a different way. We didn't want things to get lost in listings, because we do specialize more with hand-picked properties. But we do understand that some people are having problems seeing the properties that are still available, and also not everybody wants to sit through me going on and on and on for half an hour on a video. So we are going to do that. I'm going to be working on that over the next month. Excuse me, over the next month. So hopefully by the end of April, that will be back up and running again, just to help people. David, ciao from Palambara. We are loving Abruzzo, and Abruzzo is loving you as well, David. Hopefully you'll be coming on soon as well, as a meet the home buyer. Okay, so let's start. I did promise you something, didn't I? I did promise you the most stunning photo of the week, and this really is incredible. Are you ready for this one? So this was sent in by, hold on a sec, why can't I find what's happening to me here, Tony? It's stunning photo. There it is. See, you could have helped me with that. You could. That's all you've got to do. You just sit there. I can see him on his little screen with his little Kazakh hat on. So this was sent in by me. That's why it's the most stunning. What are you laughing at?
Hey.
This photo has actually been seen before when we've done a thing about similar to what we're doing tonight, because I'll introduce what we're doing tonight first, because obviously it says up close and personal. It's not going to be my life story. We can do that some other time. But there is a little bit of me, because some people know that I used to be a musician. I used to be a guitarist in a band, and so I've sent myself this great photo in. So a bit of a competition to start with, but tonight, once we've done Domenico and Tony's tongue twisting trials, we're going to talk about our story. We're going to talk about how we ended up here, and then we're going to go through the stages of restoring our property. And I know some of you will have seen this before, but there are a lot of photographs that nobody's seen. It's taken me 2 hours to dig these photographs out today of when we first saw the house, and then slowly how the restorations have gone on. So that's what we're gonna do tonight. There's lots of photographs. So I thought I'd start with this one, a bit of fun, seeing as though it is up close and personal. So you've got to guess which one's me. So I want you to start chatting away. Get ready for this. Here we go. No laughing, Tony. No laughing. Come on. Somebody's got to get it. Get which one is me? Has anybody got it yet, Tony? Rock on, Dave. It's time to dust off that guitar and start jamming again. I know, David. It was an amazing part of my life. It really was. Has anybody got it yet? Nobody's got it, have they? Rock on, Dave. No, I've seen that one. Nobody's interested. Has everybody turned off, Tony? Am I talking to myself? Nobody cares, do they? Just show us your house, Dave. No, nobody's bothered. Okay, so it seems though nobody knows which one. Middle, long hair. Well done. Somebody said the long-haired hippie with the guitar. That's pretty much all. Well, we've got a few people that's got it right. Well done. Yes, you are correct. It is the middle one, front center. That's the one. Who else got that? There was somebody's name I recognized. The long-haired hippie with the guitar. Thank you, David Palladino. It's nice to see that you're back again. Yes, that one is me in the middle. There I am. In my younger days, I think I was about maybe 18 or 19 there. But there you go. And I think I sold that guitar because my engine broke in one of my... That's a rock and roll story, isn't it? That's definitely a rock and roll story, if I've ever heard one. The engine went in the car. Do I still look the same? Why are you laughing, Tone? I've put a bit of weight on, haven't I? I can't grow a beard like that. Anyway, yeah. So here's another part of the competition. I want you to guess. See if anybody knows this. So centre front 6 string. That's me. So here's a bit of a competition then. So the person on, as we're looking at the photograph, that hair, I know. You're only jealous, Dennis. I know you're jealous. You've got hair on the beard, but that's it. It was a bit frizzy, wasn't it? A bit out of control. Anybody guess who the famous guitarist is? Two on the right from me. So the guy with the white Gibson SG. Anybody want to guess who that famous guitarist is? You can get. I'll give you all that. I'm not going to leave that photograph on. See if anybody gets it. From a famous rock band. And they did tour America quite a lot, sort of a long time ago, but mainly European. They're a traditional heavy metal band from the UK. But see if anybody can guess it. So this guy with the white Gibson SG with the even fuzzier hair than me. See if anybody can guess. Anybody can guess that. Okay, so I suppose we better now move on from that. When I look through some of these photographs, I was just trying to find. Some of the photographs I've got are just absolutely, I'm not even going into it. Anyway, I suppose it's that time. Wow, I think you are the rock star. I used to think I was, Mary. I used to think like that, but no. We actually did okay. Without getting into it, we won a big competition on Radio 1 in the UK, and with a guy called Steve Wright. The name of the band at the time, with that band, even though that was with another band as well, was called White Russian, believe it or not. And the band that we did quite well with was a band called Sod's Law, and we won a big Battle of the Bands competition on BBC Radio 1 with a guy called Steve Wright, and another one with Tommy Vance. No, it's not Brian May. No. And yeah, things went well, and we got sent to America and did a few things, but then I became a estate agent. I was tired of living in the back of a van. But there you go. Great times. Great times. Oh, yeah, somebody's got it. Well done. He's got it. Well done, Dennis. It is Graham Oliver. It's Graham Oliver from Saxon. And I used to go to school with his son, and we supported Saxon on a couple of their gigs. And yes, well done. Well done. The fantastic Graham Oliver, who's no longer with Saxon, unfortunately, but there you go. Big shout out to him. There's no way he'll be watching, but if he is, hi Graham. Okay, so moving on away from that, we better now move on to Domenico and Tony's tongue twisting trials, and then we better start moving without think. Tony's moving my things around now. Can we put this one on? Is that all right with you? Let's bring him back on. Tony the Kazakh. Do you like that photo? Do you like that photo?
Oh, I love that photo. Yeah,
Amazing,
yeah. Put a few pounds on since then.
I have.
Yeah.
I have. I think. Oh, it's gone.
Where you gone?
Oh, gone. Tom?
What's happening? Where you gone? You leave me on my own.
I don't know. I know. We're back now, though, aren't we? Hopefully, everybody can see.
Yeah,
everybody can see.
I think so.
Don't happen then. See, that's because you were pulling me down.
Ah, no. Well, your airline's got longer. You got.
I think that I've probably eaten myself again in weight. That's Italy. That's not my fault. That's Italy. That's one of the downsides of living in Italy. Okay, for people that are wondering what's going off now, this is Tony the Kazakh producer from the UK.
I wish I knew what was going on.
I feel like I'm talking really fast tonight, but it's nearly 7:20.
I know. Well, that's normal, isn't it?
So this week it's a comedy film. The film is comedy. Well done to somebody whoever's written Saxon. It is a comedy film. If I remember, I'm winning 6-0, I think. Is that right? Something like that.
No, well, yeah, in your head.
So it's a comedy film. It's a great film. It is a bit rude, so I do apologize, but I just really hope Domenico gets it.
Just get on and send it.
I am doing. Hold on. Right. So for those of you first time watching, Tony's going to say it in Italian, a famous saying from this film. And then Domenico is going to come on later in the show and give his fantastic English. And at that point, you can try and guess the film. Right, you ready, Tom?
Well, yeah, when I eventually get it.
Okay. You're going to say this really well. It's only short. So listen, everybody. Yeah. You ready?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Go.
$6 è la mia palla sinistra. Dici che non atterreremo a Chicago.
Okay, I wish you knew what. You've no idea.
No idea what that. No.
Probably best not. But say it again because they might have missed the first word. Just say it again.
$6 è la mia palla sinistra. Dici che non atterreremo Remo a Chicago. Ata Remo.
Something like that, Tom. Well done. I wish you knew what that meant. I really do. Fantastic. So that was, if anybody, David Palladino, he's the only one that understands Tony. See if you get that one. Okay. And then later in the show, Domenico is going to come on and speak in English. And from that point, then you can guess what the comedy film is. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about the subject. So, joking, I had a little bit of a joke at the beginning with the photographs and things, but that was my life from being young. I picked up guitar when I was about 5. I used to play that horrible music instrument that everybody has to play, the recorder, from about 4 years old. And then I was trained classically. I used to play classical music and Spanish music. I had a fantastic teacher who, if you get the chance to have a look on YouTube, he's a classical guitar player, absolutely brilliant. Martin Knockalls. I've just checked some of his stuff out. Just beautiful, easy listening classical music. His surname is spelled Nockalls, Martin Knockalls. And his daughter, Erica Knockalls, well, she's quite famous, actually. She's a famous violinist. Plays with the Wonder stuff, I think it is, people like that. She's been to so yeah, check them out. But Martin was my guitar teacher, amazing player. And then I got into rock and all the rest of it. And then from about 15, 16 years old, did quite a lot of things that really had some great times. And then sort of round about 23, 24, I thought, I've always been a family person, always knew that I wanted to have children, and I didn't think nothing was going to happen living in the back of a van. So obviously then met Silvana, all the rest of it, and we got married in 2000. And we used to go, Silvana's grandma was obviously a huge part of her life, not just her life afterwards, all of our lives. And we used to go, obviously, to see her grandma south of Rome. She was in an area in the province of Frosinone, and it's a beautiful valley just further south of Frosinone. It's about an hour and a half from Rome. And it was the first time I'd ever been to Italy, and I think that was about 90. I think it was 97. It was New Year's Eve. I think we came here for New Year's, or 98, and I just fell in love, absolutely fell in love. Every time we used to come here, I used to love the way, we didn't have kids then. We met in 97, so we sort of spent a few years holidaying here on our own. And I just used to love the way, people were. I just used to love we always had these ideas of what people are like that come from foreign countries. And I always remember from the UK, everybody used to go to Spain. So that's where you went on holiday. Everybody went to Spain. And you would land in the airport. You would drive through areas that were obviously Spanish people, and you would see people dressed, let's say elderly ladies possibly dressed in black, and all of this kind of, and half-finished houses. And you get these impressions of what people are like. And people still think that like that sometimes now when they come to Italy, and you see half-finished houses, people say they must have run out of money. I've had lots of conversations where that's not the case. I'm not going to go into that tonight, but we've covered that subject quite a lot. But I remember sort of driving through all these places, and then you get to your resort, and you only ever knew your resort and the bars and everything else, and everything was touristy and nice and all the rest of it. When we came to Italy, obviously it was straight then with family. So the areas that in the past, even though it was a different country in Spain, but the areas that you would drive through, because there was no tourism in those towns at that stage. It was just driving through normal towns. Obviously, we were doing that and going into towns and staying with family. And even everybody that comes on this show and talks about the way people are over here, that's what it was like then as well. And I was so shocked. People were just so friendly. I couldn't speak a word of the language, not to any of Silvana's family, or it was what can I say? It was just, the experience they had was completely different to any other experience I had in my life. And I think people go through that all the time now when they come out here, because you're dealing with real people that are just genuinely nice people. And the more and more we came to Italy, and the more I experienced that, and I used to see her cousins speaking eventually in 2 languages. They were learning English, and some of them were the parents lived in the UK or Ireland, and just easily speaking both languages and seeing these kids, the way they interact with each other. It just blew my mind. It's completely different to where I growing up in the UK. You do French at school, but not many people care, which is sad, because we just automatically think everybody's going to speak English. And seeing the way people were, I remember saying to Silvana, because she wanted to move to Italy as soon as we met. I'd never even dreamt about moving away from the UK. It just wasn't on my radar at all. But the more times we came, it got to the point where you thought, we need to do this. We need to change our lives, because our lives were so stressful in the UK. I had my own business. Silvana had her own business. She was a fashion designer in the UK. I used to have a business selling glassware and things like that to pubs and restaurants and all that kind of thing. Things started getting hard in the UK with smoking bans and everything else that came in, and it was hard. Then we had children. Silvana thought, that's it. We've had children now. We'll be staying here. Whereas my desire to move to Italy grew even more, and I was like, no, now I'm ready. I don't want to bring the kids up in the kind of environment we were noticing then, going back sort of 20 years, because we'd seen a change. Things were different, and people talk about now how life has changed. So I'm not talking politics. I'm just talking about just walking down the street, just walking in towns and places like that. And I just noticed in Italy, I noticed in the UK, things were starting to change, and not for the better. And we just wanted out. And a couple of things happened in the business. It was actually Christmas Eve. It was Christmas Eve 2006, because we were going to start making the move in 2007. And we were up sort of, it was a nightmare. Sorry, Christmas 2007. I had vehicles stolen. My wife had a terrible time at work. It all happened on Christmas Eve, and we said, that's it. That's the last Christmas we're going to have living in the UK. And even though we sort of didn't, we moved, but didn't move in the sense before Brexit, it was quite easy to spend, for me to go backwards and forwards and to stay here some time and to stay there. It was so much easier. And we decided to make that move. And we decided to start looking for properties probably a couple of years before that, because we just thought if we could just get somewhere. Came up with an idea of wanting to run some sort of B&B like everybody else does, or some sort of tour company and the rest of it. And we started to look for properties. And it was Silvana's uncle that brought us to Abruzzo. We were in Puglia on holiday together, and he said, I'm going to take you to a place where I go on holiday. And it was this place called Abruzzo. And heading up the motorway from Puglia is very flat, you could see the landscape changing. It was August. You could see the landscape changing in Molise, because the hills started to come and everything else. And we thought, this looks quite nice. When we cross the Abruzzese border, so that's at San Salvo, the next town up on the coast is Vasto, and then you start to rise up on the motorway. If any of you've done this, you'll know what I'm talking about. Those that haven't, when you do it, you'll say, this is what Dave was talking about. And you get past Vasto, and you sort of you turn a corner, and you're just greeted by the Val di Sangro, it's called, and the Maella mountain range in the distance, and the sea to your right. And we were just blown away, absolutely blown away. Sorry, I've just got to say, this must be Gary. Buonasera from Castelvecchio Sobequo via Vittorito. Buonasera. These guys have come to see their house for the first time, hoping they love it. I've not spoken to them yet. Hope you love it, Gary. Hope everything's doing well, even though it was throwing it down with rain today. But there you go. Sorry, going off track a little bit. But I was blown away. And I remember just thinking, this place just looks incredible, incredible. And we went to Pescara. Pescara is not the best city in the world in the sense of there's no historical part. It was badly bombed in World War II. And it's great for shopping and bars and that cafe culture and all that type of thing. And it's a good hub for Pescara. The airport's there. There's lots of different things in that area. And we ate a fish meal that was fantastic. We were right at the side of the beach. And then we did the road then to go back over to the Rome side, to Silvana's grandma's side. That is the road from Pescara to Rome. And obviously then you get up close and personal with the mountains, and the motorway that cuts through the Maiella mountain range, and you've got the Gran Sasso on your right, the Maiella on your left. That motorway is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Again, for those of you who've come from Rome, coming this way or this way going to Rome, we thought this area is just fantastic. And we went home and started our internet search, because we were originally looking at Silvana's grandma's side of the mountain, obviously, but the prices were quite expensive at that time. We didn't have the budget to do it. And we thought this area, Abruzzo, is going to be far too expensive. So this is going back to, our daughter was born 2002, so we probably started looking around about 2002, 2003. Started looking on the internet. Went home, put a search in for Abruzzo, and I nearly fell off my chair. The prices, I mean, the prices are cheap now. The prices were just ridiculously cheap then. It was absolutely crazy cheap. And it's sort of, Abruzzo not really, it only just started to get to be known by foreign buyers, and it was mainly Brits then. And we sort of, I thought this must be some sort of mistake. And anyway, we carried on looking. A couple of years passed. Our daughter, we decided to come out when our daughter was about 2 years old. And we thought, we're going to start seriously looking now. I found this place on the internet. I think I've told this story before in here, but found a place on the internet that this poor guy was an English guy that was selling his house. And I fell in love with the house. And you know, it's like you see something on the internet and that's it. You're obsessed by it. You want to, that's the one that you want. I was imagining us there. I was every day, the house was the screenshot on my computer. Every day I would just stop and look at that. And it had 2 houses on the property, which for us was ideal because we were going to live in one, restore the other, and do that up as a B&B or something like that, as lots of people would like to do. So glad we didn't, but anyway, that's another story. But I was fixed on it, and I was speaking to this guy all the time, sending messages, can you tell me about this? We booked to see the house, and I was so disappointed. In fact, I'd been looking at it for 3 months constantly. When we actually got here, the agent started taking us towards the village, and I understand windy roads. Palombaro, there's windy roads, but after 5 or 10 minutes, you're onto main roads and off you go. This place was just, it was, I'm not going to say the town because I'm not going to pull any of these areas down. It was towards the Gran Sasso, but we were traveling the car and I was like, I can't do this. I was so disappointed. We seemed to be going forever on horrendous roads and all the rest of it. And it's just so not what I expected. We eventually got to the town that looked quite nice. And I thought, well, we're here, we'll go and have a look. So only right. I've been pestering this guy for ages. And the agent then pointed out where the house was, which was even further up the mountain. And really, and I was so disappointed. So disappointed. It was unbelievable. And we carried on property search. The agents were a nightmare. Nobody was listening to us. We got there and I said, look, we want to buy, but this is our situation. We want to move here. We've got a couple of kids. We need a detached house. We need a garden. This is why I don't want to be an estate agent, because we'll find the properties. We will find the ones that we think's great in the best areas and all the rest of it, because I was just passed from pillar to post and nobody was telling me about these areas. We were in the car for half an hour, 45 minutes to get somewhere. And you just think, this is, first of all, it's not the kind of house that I want. And second of all, why are you bringing me here? I remember one viewing, and it must have been in Villa Santa Maria, which is a great town, but the house was under the bridge. Under in Villa Santa Maria, there's this enormous concrete bridge it's actually beautiful to see, and it's great to drive on, and the scenery is amazing, but it was underneath the bridge. And I was like, it got to the point, Alana was 2 years old, we were just screaming at people saying, you know, what are you doing to us? So we cancelled all of our viewings. And thankfully, we were staying in Pescara. I said to Silvana, I said, look, there's one day where we booked to go to areas around Casoli and Palombaro. We didn't do the Sulmona side because we didn't know any agents at that side. So we were looking in the north, mainly in inland from Pescara and a few other areas, which are great areas, but it just didn't suit us. We were on such a downer. And I said, let's keep that appointment, and we'll see what happens from there. And that was it. That was when we came off the motorway, we started coming towards Carswell. You see the town on the hill, you see the mountains behind, and I thought, this is it. This is exactly what I was thinking. And what we found was, and the reason why lots of estate agents don't get back to you when you send emails and all the rest of it, is a lot of them are on commissions, and if you've got 3 or 4 agents working, they want you to buy one of their properties. So if there's an office and there's 3 or 4 agents in there, they all want you. So they don't really care what you're looking for, what you're not looking for. Don't tell them about that. Don't tell them there's a petrol station next door. I hate things like that, because you're going to come out and see there's a petrol station next door and shout at me or shout at somebody. But this particular agent, they were pretty good. And we went then to Palambaro and saw the house that we wanted. And well, firstly, no, I loved the house. Silvana liked it, but not as much as me. She fell in love with another one, and I said that's absolutely fine. And then it turned out that this other one, there was a garage next to it, and the owner didn't want to sell the garage. We were like, so we're going to buy the house, but you keep the garage. Not happening. And we went back to the original house that we chose. And looking at the pictures today, and this is now when I'm going to start showing you pictures. I do not know to this day. We're having a bit of a laugh today. What it was that attracted us to this place. That these are the photographs from when we originally, let me get this on, when we originally went to see the house, the day that we went for the property viewing. And this is it. So I know what you're saying. I can sense it. And I don't know what it was. I think it maybe was Palambaro to start with, and the scenery. The scenery, we were blown away by the scenery. And we looked at this house, and it is terrible, isn't it? I can hear you laugh. Stop laughing. Or is that you, Tony? But he is as well. You are, aren't you? But we pulled up, and something changed. And when we went in, I always say, when we do the videos, some properties, and certainly this one would have been a challenge, some properties just don't video or photograph well. And you can't explain to people. And that's why some of the property videos, I take my time to do what I do, because it's difficult. If not, you have to really try and because if I love a place and can't wait to put it, people say, oh, you only put them on just to get your commissions. So I don't get commissions for a start. But that's not what I do. I only put properties on that I think are fantastic properties. And some people don't get it. You imagine if I sent you this picture and said, I found you a detached house, you'd be like, no, thanks, Dave. But it did it for us. And the room sizes were great. And obviously we've restored it since then, and that's what I'm going to go through now. So this is when we first saw it. Just a sad look. It is a terrible house. It really is. And this was it. The garden was overgrown. Everything was overgrown, but there was just something about it that. And look at that. Look at that. Tony, why did I buy this? Why did we buy this place? Have you any idea?
The number of times we go to property, you say no. They're 10 times better than that one.
I know. Yeah, that is true. If you didn't hear what Tony just said, because he seemed to break, but it is true. Whenever we go out looking at properties, and I will say, no, I'm not putting this on. I don't like this. But it is true that there's no way I would have put this on the video channel. But this is we fell in love, and it was for the area, and that's why now I know the area is more important than anything else. So anyway, we looked around. I said the other house fell through. This is a distant shot of it. I was trying to get the best shot possible, because I wanted to go home and say to people and say to my mates, we found a house in Italy, but I just didn't want to show them the one that we'd found. So I was trying to get all sorts of different angles. It was a horrible day as well. The mountains in the background, you couldn't see anything. There was covered in fog. It was just terrible. And this was the inside. It gets better. This was the kitchen. It's just a few. Would you like that orange lamp? I wonder what happened to that orange lamp. Tony, I think you've got that up in your kitchen. But this was the kind of stylish wallpaper. So we moved away from wallpaper. We come from the UK and we just got more wallpaper. I like that chandelier though. That was probably worth. And I don't know where that went either. Anyway, this was the inside. Even though my camera doesn't show it, but they were really high ceilings, big square rooms. They were just perfect. We saw through all of this. This was the bathroom. This was probably the best room in the house. And but this is what we wanted. We wanted a blank canvas, and I love restoring. And to be honest with you, I don't regret any of it. Then we climbed onto the poor flat roof, and again, you're not here. The view's looking towards. We can't see the coast from here, but it is a beautiful view when the weather's nice. And then if you turn around, there's the mountains behind, and it was this. It was all of this, and the space that we thought we can work with that. And I can understand lots of people that maybe don't want to do restorations. We did. We fancied a pop at that, and I don't regret it at all. And those that say, think of a budget and double it, I disagree with that. I think of a budget and be realistic and think yourself and take responsibility yourself for what you've done. Because I've never had to double a budget. If I go into a place and I think, oh, this is going to cost me 10 grand to do up, but it cost me 20, that's because I was stupid thinking it was going to cost me 10 grand in the first place. So be realistic. It's as simple as that. If I think to myself, I'm going to walk out tomorrow and buy a brand new Mercedes for 20,000 euros, then somebody's going to say, you're a complete prat. and that's it. So when you're restoring, take responsibility for your own decisions and get in there. And if something costs too much, find something that costs a little bit less, and so on and so on. But I don't regret doing this at all, not at all. So then on another trip, we came back and we started doing the bit that I love the most. You probably noticed there's a marble staircase. That was one of the first things we put in. When they gave us the price, we were shocked. I mean, in the UK, that would have cost us more than the house. But this was the bit I loved, going around saying what we wanted in each room, marking the walls off. They basically ripped the house to pieces, to where we wanted new plug sockets, where we wanted, there was, as you can see, red writing all over the walls. It was, but I loved it. I loved this part. And what is now our lounge, this is a photograph of our lounge. That arrow was pointing to where we wanted a fireplace. We actually ripped out an animal feed place where it's darker at the bottom, because this is where they used to keep cows or something like that. And so we were there doing all of this and just basically marking up everything where we wanted the kitchen. And look, even just ripping some of the windows out and things like that and letting some light in, it started to completely change. So this was quite an exciting part for me. I really enjoyed all of this. Then we went back home, we're leaving our instructions for what we wanted to do with a geometer that became a really good friend and lives close by. And they then started to, we asked them to clear the land, to clear some of the trees, because there was lots near to the house. There was a big gas tank in front of the house and all the rest of it. And this is when we started getting excited, because all of a sudden that house started to appear, the one that we thought, this is what we saw that was hidden underneath all the rubbish. They started to reveal the house and the size of it a little bit. And we got so excited when we started seeing these photographs that they sent. Obviously, the garden was a complete mess. It actually looks, somebody must have cut it here, because it wasn't like that when we moved in. But you can see the mountains down in the back. So, you're probably realizing what we loved about the area and the scenery and that kind of stuff. But it wasn't very private. You can see that was my hire car on the road on the left. So it was quite sort of close to the road. We needed to make it a bit more private than the rest of it. But they started to send these photographs through. Now, this is before we decided to move here, and left the instructions for the work. Then we came back to have one quick look, make a few more decisions before we actually made the move. So this was some more photographs that took from a certain side. These, I'll show you later what the house looks like now, and yeah, a huge difference. And we started to get excited at this point, and we went back. We went back and we found this, and we were so annoyed. It was unbelievable, because we left instructions when they started smashing everything to pieces. Where this is Silvana, and this is the age of our kids at the time. But when they were, Gianluca was, I think he was about 1.5 there. Lana was 5, I think. And so they created that big opening that you can see on the outside, because we knew we wanted that to be open. And they created this archway that we wanted between the dining room and the living room. The problem is when we came to see the house, when they started smashing this to pieces, we noticed stone. And we said, that would be amazing if this is a stone house. We didn't know at the time that it was or wasn't. We didn't understand how it worked. If it's thick walls, it's a good chance to be stone and the rest of it. And we said, please, please, please make the archway between the living room and dining room out of stone. And the builder interpreted that to these horrible red bricks that in the UK we use for doctors' surgeries, schools, prisons, maybe not prisons, but we were so upset. The builder really thought, because what he said, rather than telling us at the time, but he said, well, the stone was no good. The inside wasn't very good, and it was made up. So I thought this would look great, because in Italy at the time, this was like almost a fashion. We were absolutely distraught when we saw this, but anyway, we've got over it finally after all the years. They no longer exist, but I'll show you the inside, how it is on another live stream. I'm going to do the outside today. But it just reminded me when I saw this photograph how disappointed we were. But anyway, onwards and upwards, and the time came where we thought, that's it, we're off. And even though this, like I said, it was pre-Brexit, so I was doing sort of backwards and forwards. But we needed to get the kids settled, started getting them into school and all that kind of. We were sort of running split lives for quite a while. But this was the morning when we said we're going. This is from Dover, obviously in the UK. Jumping on the boat to come over. This was August. I can't remember what year it was, but it was August. We made the really bad decision, which now I know August in Italy is not when you should expect people to do work. But then we didn't know that. Even though Silvana was Italian, we lived in the UK. We just thought everybody worked the same, just normal times in August, so it doesn't matter what year it is, what time of year it is. So this was us saying goodbye to Blighty, and we stopped in. This was somewhere in France. Both our kids there, and Silvana, obviously, we stopped off in there and having our picnic. And crossed over the Italian border, and where was my fashion sense? I've got brown hair there as well. Tony, what are you laughing at? We've got. I wasn't going to put this photograph on because I knew. What was I thinking with those shorts? I don't know if that's a full size pair of jeans that just fitted a small person, and I decided to put them on. Tony's sat there laughing. I'm pleased that you're. Are you finding it?
I've always steered away from them 3/4 length shorts.
I know.
It makes you look like you got no legs.
What the hell were I thinking? It's unbelievable. Why did I choose to put this photograph on? Anyway, this is notice no grey hairs. Yes, the kids were young. Whoever was saying, like I say, our daughter, I think at the time was 5. Gianluca was 18 months roughly. And this is when we got to Palombaro in August, and we were excited to go and see our house because that's the house we were going to live in. So we got 2 kids, suitcases, all the rest of it. Stop taking the mess, Dennis. Vivian, send me some dodgy photographs of Dennis. I'll get my own back. So this is when we first got into Palombaro, and again, summer's day, so everything looks stunning, as I say. And we went to the house, ready to move in, and this is what we found. This is the photograph. So imagine walking into your house. This was, I think it was maybe the 1st or 2nd of September. So walking in your house with 2 kids. My geometry friend had told me that, it's August, don't expect. And so I'm not blaming anybody. Now I know what I know. But this was a bit of a shock. Yeah, my geometry said, please don't come in August. But we said, no. We're that's when we need to be there. We need to get there. We need to get settled. And I had to go back to the UK. There was a lot of things going off. And it was it's a very strange time of our life going backwards and forwards from the UK, but we had to have some sort of normality where we could. And this is the photograph. I remember walking into the dining room and turning to Silvana and saying, I guess we're not moving in here then. So then luckily we knew an English couple down the road that owned a house, and I rang and asked if we could use their house, rent their house from them. Lucky enough, they said yes. But I remember walking in there and seeing that. And then this was the kitchen. And Silvana stood in the kitchen, and we were like, I mean, all the pipe work's in, as you can see, with all the decisions that we've made. Even you can see the new door at the top. So we've got new windows, new doors. But this is what we walked into. And as I said, what I know now is in Italy, August is shut down. I just didn't believe it. I'll be honest with you. I didn't believe it. And even now, it happens now with people that contact us in August time and say, almost like as if to say, surely you're not closed all of August, are you really? But that's Italy. That's what happens. And this was us. So we just thought we have to get on with it, which we did. So the outside was an absolute nightmare. But eventually we started getting the inside. This is when we had our kitchen delivered. The guy couldn't even get to the door because there was just piles of stuff everywhere. But eventually he did and started working on the kitchen. So the inside, this was the kitchen when he did it. So the outside looked how it did just then, but we were gradually sorting out the inside. The kitchens was done, the tiling was done, everything was done pretty quick. From that moment that we walked in and seeing that builder patting down the cement on the floor to get into this part we're talking maybe 3 weeks, something like that. Because our geometer did say, look, the hard work's gone in, the pipe work's in, everything's in, it just all needs covering now and tiling and painting, and you're in. And that is pretty much what happened. So this was us. On the outside, it was a nightmare. It was so dangerous on the outside. But the inside, we were starting to get it more habitable. And so then we thought we need a drive. We have to start creating our driveway. We've got holes in the house. This is before the windows went in, actually. But we got piles of concrete and rocks and stuff all over the place. But we thought, obviously, when the kids go outside, we need to have somewhere. We need to have a terrace. There was a terrace on the first floor, but we didn't have railings, so we didn't want the kids obviously falling off. So that was our first job, was to start creating outside areas and start creating terraces. And everybody here in Italy thought we were mad not getting the outside done. We were like, well, we don't really care what the outside looks like now. We'll manage with the outside. We needed the inside so we could start using it, and the outside we'll do later. So we started getting terraces done. The diggers were coming in. We were just trying to do anything possible to give us space where we could just move around. And this was probably September time, I reckon. We'd just come over, and the drive, everything started to come into some sort of shape, even though the house. But it still moved on a lot from that little horrible but grey place. But it was still a little bit like that. So time went on. Silvana then she wanted to do the Italian thing and start growing tomatoes and all the rest of it. So we did. We were living the life. That's what it's the life that we wanted to have. And our terrace started coming into shape. We've done and redone so many things since we've been here. It's unbelievable. So I always say now, if you can get in and it's really habitable, get in, live in, and then gradually doing it, because you'll change your mind all the time. So we had decided to have an open terrace on the side of our house and a closed terrace at the front. Hence why I've got those bricks piled up. So I wanted to buy some bricks to have nice brick pillars and at the front of the house. So we did all of this and ended up smashing all these pillars to pieces anyway. But anyway, this was us. The driveway was coming along. We were still open to the road. I planted a few olive trees in there, wanted to do the Italian thing. So slowly, it was all coming. That was my hedge. All of those plants died instantly within no time at all. But again, we just wanted some privacy. But it was starting to feel like home. And we were then getting prepared for the front terrace because we wanted like a portico, which you'll see what we did, just at the front part of the house and the side open. And then we decided to do the whole thing. So redid certain work. But at least, as I say, we had some space outside and we could move around a little bit. The garden slowly running over with lawnmower, just kept going over and over and burning it and reseeding it and lawnmower. It was ridiculous. And we got to the stage, I remember this meal we had with our neighbors and a couple of English people down the road. We thought we can actually have a meal on our terrace. And this was the first one that we did with friends, and had a fantastic time as well. I remember that so well. And then the tomatoes started coming. You really start to think, I'm living, and it was the simple things in that. I mean, it still is the simple things in life, but it was the simple things in life that were the best things. And even if you're growing a few tomatoes on a pot on a small balcony, it doesn't matter. It's the fact that you can grow these amazing things in Italy and they taste like nothing you've ever tasted before. I'm not going to take credit for it because Silvana did everything, but everything was just starting to. And I remember we put these plants in because the kids wanted to have some sunflowers, and everything was just starting to pull together as we wanted to. Then, fast forwarding on a few years, the driveway became a little bit more like a driveway. We had some work done, as you can see, protecting us from the wall, fences up. I had to put some new plants in there to start to close the house up, because we literally, but it was step after step. The house still looked like that. People were leaving food parcels for us. They felt sorry for us. They didn't realize that inside the house was great, but our plan was to completely overhaul the house, and this was just one of the stages we were going through. Obviously, we were working, we were saving, we were trying to do everything that we could, and we just did it over time. It just didn't matter to us. All that mattered is we had our place in Italy, and we could start spending more and more time there to eventually live there. So we started getting things closed up. Didn't look particularly nice. It was still concrete city, if you like, but we knew that planting would get there. Then this happened. It came to the point where we wanted to start getting the outside done, and this was the stone we found underneath, and we thought, this is what we want. This is what we want. Not all over the house, because the house wasn't all stone, and these types of houses. Some of them are all stone. Some of them are stone with like the coarse brickwork, and ours is one with the brickwork, because that came in. It was one of the regulations, I think, in the 1950s. I think it was, and then it changed to cement and other things. But these bricks look fantastic. But we knew then we could get what we wanted. We wanted to reveal some stone just on the first floor and on a few walls on the inside. But I'll show you the inside another time. So we knocked those pillars down that cost us a fortune to get the mold for and everything else, because we suddenly decided we're going to put a terrace all the way around, because we wanted shade. We suddenly realized how hot it gets, and we wanted shade. And also, if it rains like it was doing then, you could, and sometimes we'll sit in our terrace in the summertime, even if it's a rainy day, it doesn't matter. So we started moving on and starting to get our house done on the outside, starting with the terraces, started revealing a little bit more stone. This is why whenever I say to people, this is a stone house, you can reveal, you need to take the plaster off and you can reveal stone. This is exactly what I mean. And the way these guys finish it, look at that. I think that looks fantastic. They scrub the stone down, and then and that. So when you look at these horrible grey walls, and I'm doing the videos and saying, but take the plaster off, under there'll be stone. This is what you can get. And even if you just choose the odd wall, that's what we've done here downstairs. Just the odd wall you choose, and it just looks amazing. So things start to come together. A few more pictures. Obviously, then from the side of the house, you can start to see on the ground floor how we've got the brickwork and the stone all coming through. I'll just answer this question. So is it a gamble when you start removing rendering to what you find underneath? It's nice looking stone or brick versus destroyed and has to be covered again. It is a bit of a gamble, but the vast majority of the time we were lucky, because the stone, when you get big stone like that, that's because the people that built the house actually bought the stone from the quarries. Most people will take stone from the land, so then that will be smaller stone. You get a little bit more bitty, but it still comes up really well. More often than not, you'll get the results you wanted. Maybe not the big stones, but you'll get the results that you wanted. So things started changing. Again, it just seemed to rain. Every time the builders came, it started to rain. But what a fantastic job that we still wanted rustic. These were all modern bricks, but they rubbed them down and just made them look old. And this obviously is under our terrace downstairs as well. And then it was time for the scaffolding to go up, for the house to start to go up, because we had a flat roof. We were allowed to build up and have a roof and have rooms underneath that as well. We did all the planning permission, which you've got to do, and went through everything. And eventually the house started to to grow, and it did. It's weird. It seemed that, I think, because we added terraces and then obviously went up, the house just seemed to look bigger than that little thing that we saw right at the beginning. We had the steps come down into the gardens. That was all part of our future plans for later. And slowly but surely, it started to all come together. As you can see here, the brickwork and everything that they did was absolutely fantastic. We were so enjoyed. This was when we were really enjoying the fact that we'd got a project. That's why I always say to people, yeah, I know people like it to be ready to move in, but even if it's just ready to just get in, a little bit of renovation is superb as well. If you can find a place you're happy with, perfect. It's not for everybody, but I loved it, and I would definitely do it again. Then the paint started going. This was the undercoat of the paint. This was a big race to get certain things done for our daughters. I think it was our daughter's Holy Communion. We got family coming all over, and the scaffolding went down. We had to leave half of it up, but at the front of the house, they took it down the day before or the morning. I think this may have even been the morning that people were coming at lunchtime. And I mean, the builders were amazing. They really, and they did all of this work. They started it in the January. And this was, I think the Holy Communion was in May or June time, and they'd done so much, it was unbelievable. Then slowly, then the front of the house, we wanted to have the portico at the front of the house as well. And again, revealing a little bit of stone, and we kept the color then from above. So going back to this little this house that we loved so much. And I just want to show you now what eventually, once the works are done, and this is what we got. So from that, we went to this, which as a transformation, I think you'll agree is absolutely, it was our vision. That's what we knew. I still can't believe it now that we managed to get it from that, and we got it to where we are. And I love the fact that little old horrible looking grey house that we loved so much that we did this to it, because I think these buildings sort of deserve it. Trees started to grow, obviously, as they do, and all of a sudden it was our dream home. It was what we wanted. It was exactly what we waited, we saved, we worked hard, we helped the builders as well. I mean, and I'm useless at doing anything, but I was there. We both did so much, and yeah, so happy. So again, this was from the lower side of the house, changing to this. The transformation, and even working on this garden. This garden was, we did so much, just constantly mowing that it was horrendous. But if you just keep doing it, eventually you do get there. But again, the transformation from this to this, fair play to the builders as well. The dream that we had, and the geometry for helping us as well. The dream that we had, they did it all. They made it happen. Again, looking at the side of the house, which we class this as our back garden, but this is actually the side of the house, to how it is now. Well, this was taken a few years ago, but it's yeah. This is what we've done it for. I'm just going to. I forgot to send Domenico a link. Let me just send him a quick message. Domenico, un attimo ti mando. Completely forgot to send Domenico a link. Let me just get to the end of this, and then I will do that. So then Silvana still wanted to do her allotment, which she did. Eventually, then we decided to get rid of that. That was probably my decision more than Silvana's. But then it's the next phase. This is the phase that a lot of you know. What we're doing at the moment, and it's all to do with down in the garden. So this was the before. That little stone in the middle of the garden there is where we had to have a drill down to see the kind of land underneath to start the next project. So this photograph was taken probably June, July time last year, and then we started work on the swimming pool just after August, and then we stopped in winter for the ground to settle. And this is the stage. This is where we are now. This is the next stage of our lives, if you like. exciting times. This is the stage we're at. We're letting this. There's not snow on the mountains like that at the moment. This was taken probably around Christmas time, something like that. And yeah, we're starting up again now in springtime. So hopefully I'll be able to give you an idea of what it's like really soon. That's it. It's actually quite emotional looking at some of these things. It's crazy. It's a massive journey. But the thing is, the journey to Italy is the best thing out of all of it. The rest is, I mean, we love our home. We love the work we're doing on our home. You think that everything is about having the best home, the best cars, the best whatever. And the biggest thrill for us out of all of this, even though we're proud of what we've done, we love our home. We love everything we've done. We're so excited to have a pool and all the rest of it. Can't wait for all this kind of thing. But the best thing we ever did was come here. That's by far the best. And it's sort of it's weird because coming from the UK and coming from a society where everything sort of, you've got to have the best, and sometimes it's to show off as well, to a society that's the opposite of that tells you to stop and say, look, that's not what life's all about, and that's a huge thing for us. Okay, Tony, I'm going to bring you back on because you need to start talking or something, because I need to send Domenico completely.
You've done a great job, haven't you?
Sorry?
For all your faults, you've done a great job.
I know.
Yeah.
But you've got to admit, though, Tone, it is about the people and everything else.
Oh, it is. Yeah. I mean, as you said, when you was driving that road from Vasto,
yeah,
it was the same for me. As soon, because we initially went to San Salvo for a week and came up to see you, and as soon as you hit the Castle Road at the Val di Sangro, and it's just mind blowing, the change.
Yeah.
So, and you don't have to, as you said, you don't have to do anything quickly, do you?
No.
You
don't have to do anything at all. You don't have to do anything at all if you don't want to.
Exactly. No, and I think that's why we put across as much as we can, especially on the tours. There's never any rush.
No.
And just move in. If it's movable, if you can get in. Yeah. And use it. And
again, I do think a lot of it is pressure, though. There's a lot of coming from the countries that we've come from, and I'm sure it's the same in America, Canada, Australia, where you've got this pressure of how life should be.
No, exactly.
We're trying to look for these. I think we look for these nice things in life to try and let us forget about all the rubbish things in life, and that's sad. Whereas here you don't think like that, do you?
No, I mean, mine's a smaller scale place, a lot smaller, but I eventually had a new kitchen, and that was the biggest thing. I've got to have a new kitchen, and you do bits. And last year I had new windows and doors, but I've been here. I bought in 2013. I've put up with everything that was already there. And it served okay. It wasn't a problem. Because
you suddenly realise when you come here, it was a little bit different for us for some of the work we wanted to do, because obviously the kids were there.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was dangerous to be outside, and there were certain things we had to do because we've got kids, and maybe things that we wouldn't have done for a long time had we not got kids. But I think when you're here, as I said, all those things about why am I stressing out about, I don't know, about what my car's like or whatever's like. Just
and it does take time for that to go, though, doesn't it?
So I'm laughing at Dennis's comment. You can't unsee those pants. I'm going to send you that photograph, Dennis.
But it does take a while for that to disappear, to get to the Italy way of thinking, if you like. Yeah. And the Italian lifestyle,
and once you're there, it's the best. It's the best thing.
No, it is
the main thing. Oh well, we've wasted enough time because of my little error. And here's Domenico. Buonasera.
Ciao. I always laugh because it's always upside down on my screen.
No, it's fine. Tutto bene?
Yes.
Buonasera.
It's all right.
Scusa, ho dimenticato di mandare il link.
Sì, ho detto ma forse vabbè, ma tu spesso ti dimentichi di me.
Grazie.
Prego.
I always forget about him. Non è vero. Okay, folks. So if you're wondering who this is, Tony keeps putting things covering Domenico's face.
Oh, sorry. There you go. Sorry,
this is our very own Ringo Starr from Vittorito. It's Domenico, the agent over in Vittorito.
Thank you.
Did you hear the clapping? I sentito tutto il.
I forgot that bit. Wait a minute. There you go.
Yeah, hold on. That's better. Okay, perfect.
But it goes on for 3 years.
E che sono?
Non ti senti?
Sembra l'acqua che scorre.
No, he thought it was water. E la gente che fa così.
Forse sento male io.
Forse sì, sei vecchio. He's getting too old, that's what it is. Okay, so this is Domenico and Tony's tongue twisting trials. Can you get rid of that along the bottom, Tone?
Yeah.
So this is a comedy film. You've got to guess what the film is after Domenico has said a famous line from it in English. We're going to hear Tony's. And I say it is a bit rude, so I do apologize. I just hope Domenico gets it really well. Okay, Tony, in Italian, go for it.
Okay. $6 è la mia palla sinistra. Dici che non atterreremo a Chicago.
Grande Tony.
Grazie.
So Domenico knows exactly what Tony has just said. And now
I'm amazed.
Okay, Domenico, in inglese?
Ok. Vado?
Sì.
$6 and my left nut says we are not landing in Chicago.
Bravo.
Domenico, per favore, un'altra volta.
Ok.
One more time. Everybody listen in English. Bye.
Yes. $6 and my left nut says we're not landing in Chicago.
Bravo, Domenico. Bravo, veramente perfetto. Somebody's got to get this.
There's quite a few on here at the moment.
Oh, let me have a look. See if anybody's got it.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
That's the one. Who's got that?
The beam man.
That's Dennis. Dennis is the first one. It is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. And I'm not going to repeat what Domenico said, but he got it absolutely perfect.
Yeah,
anybody else got it? Maurizio, he got it. Planes,
Airplane,
Trains.
no.
Airplane,
no.
Yes, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Planes, Trains, Automobiles. There's quite a few got it.
You notice Tony mutters while I'm talking and perfect. So Dennis won that, so that means that's 6-3. Unfortunately,
where did we get with 6 from?
You're still behind.
Ay.
Bravo, Domenico.
Grazie.
Prego.
Solo quella sinistra.
Sì. Only his left one, he said. Ok, Domenico, ci sentiamo domani.
Yes. Ciao Tony.
Ciao Domenico, ci vediamo.
Absolutely brilliant. I hope people heard what Domenico said. I hope they got it loud and clear. Superb. Tony, thanks, mate. We'll see you soon.
No, cheers, boys.
Yes. Okay, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed all of that one. Yeah, I hope you had as much fun as I did putting it together this afternoon. It is. Yeah, it's mad looking back on those photographs. But as I said, both of us, both me and Silvano, were sat in the office, and every photograph that I pulled up and sort of all the memories and everything else. But it was looking at the photographs of the memories that we have with people here. And that's when we set the table up the way we did and shared food and drinks with genuine people in a completely different way. Well, not a completely different way than I had before, because I'd already experienced that with Silvano's family. So I'd already had sort of lots of experience in Italy. But you can't explain it until you're part of it. You just can't. And I think Abruzzo is, they say things are different in the north of Italy than they are in the south. Abruzzo's classed as the south. and they say people are more, I don't know, more, what's the word I'm looking for? Warm, if you like, in the south. But people here are fantastic. The memories that you will have here, and the times that you will have here, will add so much to your life. I could keep talking like this forever, but I'm rambling now. But I really mean that. It's something that you have to experience. You really do. And if that means buying a property and using our services, then so be it, if you must. Okay, guys, thank you so much. There's not going to be a live stream next week, unfortunately, because it's my father-in-law's birthday, and when it's his birthday, then obviously we have to make sure he takes us out for a meal. It doesn't happen very often, especially when he's paying. So no, so it is his birthday next week, so we're not going to be around next Wednesday night, unfortunately, but I will do a live stream then the week after. So 2 weeks time, I'm going to probably do another Meet the Home Buyers, and that would, like I say, will be 2 weeks from tonight at the same time at 7 p.m. Okay, guys, thank you so much for your support as usual. I really appreciate it. Have a fantastic week, and we'll see you again really soon. Make sure you check out the videos on YouTube, especially the one on Saturday, 39,900 euros. Unbelievable. And check out the rental property I put on today as well, for those of you who are looking to rent and possibly use that to get your elective residency visa. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you really soon.